Who's excited? Who's fired up? Who, like me, is a Montel Jordan fan? Montel Jordan, you can admit it. There's no shame being a Montel Jordan fan. So that was the first country, hillbilly, Montel Jordan entrance you'll ever see in your life, and hopefully the last. So welcome to all of you. I'm so excited to have you all here, and I'm so pumped up, and I can feel the energy in the room, and it just gives me more power too, so thank you. So we need to talk about customer success. We need to have a talk about customer success, all of us. Hopefully we can have a friendly conversation about it. Because customer success, if done the old way, can drive us all a little crazy. Get the slide back up there. As you saw in the video, it can drive us to the point of insanity, or even worse, to Montana. Sorry, I like Montana. It's a beautiful place. And one of the things we want to talk about this morning is why things need to change. And if you think about it, and you think about insanity, which obviously I do all the time, I think about the Albert Einstein quote that many of you have probably read. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And if I didn't find a better quote for describing how people manage customers, I don't think I could find a better quote out there for how the last 20 years all of us have approached managing customers. It is insanity. It's doing the exact same thing, the same set of things, the same set of processes over and over and over again. And we're here to change that as a community. So one of the things I learned is that the change starts, I think in a lot of cases, with the CEO. And I think CEOs need to get more empathy about what it's really like to be in customer success or customer service or customer support, whatever you want to call it. And I learned my lesson a few years ago. So I'm going to tell you a story. Before joining Gainsight, I ran another SaaS company. And there was a gentleman that worked with me named Steve Wolf. And Steve is probably here in the audience. Raise your hand if you're here, Steve. Oh my, where's Steve? Is he here? He's going to be here at some point. This is his one shining moment. So Steve Wolf was one of the most, maybe the most, if Dan Steinman's not here, the most customer-focused, customer-centric, dedicated, responsive people I've ever worked with in my life. It was just an honor to go to battle alongside Steve every day. And Steve was just amazing, so focused on customers. And it really just blew me away. Honestly, to this day, I don't think there's anyone I've ever met that cares more about customers. And I was one of those CEOs. So you may know these CEOs. I was the CEO that you could email me, and you're a two-person customer, and you pay us $100 a year, and I would escalate it internally immediately, right? Your login didn't work, your web page looks funny, the colors don't make you happy, and I would escalate. I'd forward it to everyone, and Steve Wolf would jump on it right away. And it didn't matter whether it came in through email, it could come in through Twitter, could be a fake Twitter account. Justin Bieber could say he didn't like our product, and I would be all over it, right? And I was one of those CEOs. How many people have at least known CEOs like that in the past? You don't have to say your current CEOs like that. And I was customer-focused. I was customer-centric. And one thing that always amazed me was Steve, no matter whether I emailed him at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning, would respond right away. Literally right away. It's mind-jarring. It was amazing. It's wow, this guy cares about customers. He doesn't sleep, but he cares about customers. He cares so much about customers. And so I just let it go. I let him keep doing it. Every escalation, over and over again. He never complained. And then a couple years in, I said to Steve, I think we were driving or talking, and I said, how do you always respond so fast, in the middle of the night? How do you do it? And Steve taught me a lesson. Steve said, it's not a joke, he said that he slept with the phone by his ear, and he had a special ringtone for me, and if I ever emailed him, it would wake him up and he would jump on it. Can you believe that? And can you believe how I felt having woken him up hundreds of times in the middle of the night for a 5-employee customer that had a problem with the user interface or something, right? I felt like a really, really bad person, and not the cool Michael Jackson bad way, but the actual pre-Michael Jackson bad way, or the post-Michael Jackson bad way, either one. I felt really, really bad. And I was like, oh my God, I got to change this. And actually, to continue the theme, I've got to check myself before I wreck myself, to quote Ice Cube. The people that didn't laugh were either too young or too old, one of the two. But you should Google it, look it up on Wikipedia, very important quote. So I have to check myself before I wreck myself, or before I wreck everyone around me, right? This is not sustainable. This model is not sustainable. I cannot just forward emails around and hope things happen and try to make customers happy, and I'm just creating this unsustainable model. So I learned that at my last company, and then I came to Gainsight. And you know what I learned? It wasn't just us, and it wasn't just the CEOs. It was actually the whole approach that's wrong. The entire thing is wrong. We are actually pushing a giant boulder uphill in the way that we manage customers. We're actually fighting a losing battle. Have you ever heard the expression, winning the battle to lose the war? We're actually losing the battle to lose the war, which is even worse. And we're actually like approaching with this old economy mindset and this approach that says our jobs are just about the negative. And if nothing else at Pulse, I hope you take away that we can actually be different. I hope you can take away that if you are always fighting fires, if your job is to run into the fiery building and save the kids and come out, you can never help build the building, build the product, build the customers. You can never be about creation. If you define your job as a leaky bucket, which many of you do, right, and you're plugging the holes, you're never the person actually filling the bucket and helping to make it grow, right? And it's important to plug the holes, but that's not the whole story. That really doesn't tell the potential of what we can do. If you're the person that is always on that save call to save that customer from churning, you're not the person on the board call. You're not, right? If you're on the save call, you're not on the board call. And yet, all of you kind of would nod and say yes, but how much of our days does that describe, right? And how much do other people in our companies think of all of the folks in the customer success world as the firefighters, the save people, the leaky bucket pluggers, right? We use those terms, and in a way it's funny, but in another way it's actually quite disempowering, because I think there's a lot more that we can all do. So if nothing else at Pulse, if you only do one thing coming out of this conference, I want you to let go, in the words of Anna or Elsa, whichever one it is, I forget. And come on, you all know let it go. Come on, just admit it. You sing it in the car. Go, let it go. So that was for John Hurstein, if he's here. There you go. So let go that old world mentality, that old economy mentality that your company builds a product, ships it, and then your job is to deal with things that break. Let go of the idea that you're the fix-it person, the break-fix person, the person that comes in when things go wrong. And I know all of you have changed your job titles to customer success because it radically improves the number of recruiters that call you, which is awesome, and hopefully your salaries as well, and that's great. But instead, embrace the words, right? So we all talk about customer success, great conference, awesome, but how many of us know what customer success means to our customers? Is customer success avoiding problems? No. Is customer success getting your customers to log into your software? No. Like how many of your customers buy your products so they can log in? And yet we talk about logins and how many logins we've had. And that's fine, it's a good early warning indicator, but that's not customer success. Customer success isn't even like the number of times they click on a feature or the number of leads they create in your system. Customer success is something that customer cares about. It's making their quarter. It's actually getting on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. It's going public, right? It's what matters to them. And how many of your teams, if I went not to you, but to your teams, and said, tell me what customer success is for your customers, how many of them could answer? Yeah, I mean, and that's what we got to change. This is just going to be a relabeling if we just keep doing the same thing that we've been doing and just call it customer success. We've got to change that. The second thing we've got to let go is this old model. How many of you seen the funnel before? How many of you seen a funnel, right? This sucks. You know why? Because it looks like marketing is freaking awesome and sales is like really good. And that thing at the bottom is so easy. Look at it. It looks so easy. You just catch the things at the bottom. So easy. That looks like you should just automate that away or like outsource it or offshore it or whatever, right? Doesn't that look easy? And it's not true. It's not true. You know what the reality is? That's the reality. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the reality. That's the reality. It's an hourglass. It's not a funnel. The best companies drive the most revenue from their existing customers. If your company is just growing by adding customers and avoiding churn, you'll grow reasonably fast. If you're growing by adding customers and then those customers grow by spending more, buying more products, they tell other people to buy your products, that's how you become an awesome company. That's how you grow fast. That's how you go public, right? And that is customer success. Customer success is awesome. It is not catching the stuff at the bottom of the funnel. It is the bottom of the hourglass. And it's really the biggest opportunity. And so I would challenge you to say, do your companies and your CEOs think about your job that way? Do they think of it as a growth enabler? I've talked to CEOs, and I talk to them all the time, and they say, yeah, customer success, my two priorities are customer success and growth. I'm like, wrong. Your one priority is growth, and your best strategy, or one of your best strategies for growth, is customer success. Customer success helps you grow. You've got to let it grow. I just made that up. You've got to let it grow. Test your jokes before it. And you really have to think of your job as growth. And I would challenge you, how many of you can go back to your office and not just say how many customers did you save or what the NPS is or how many people use your product, but how much revenue did you drive in upsell, in retention, in advocacy, in new customers, in referrals? How much revenue did you drive? How much shareholder value did you drive? Today, you're going to hear from some customer success executives who can quantify the shareholder impact of what they do. And I challenge you all to do the same thing. The third thing I want you to let go is kind of funny coming from us. I want you to let go of the idea that this is just a data problem. San Francisco is great. Some of you, how many people are outside of not from the Bay Area? So one of the things, oh wow, that's awesome. And for all of you, you probably know this reading the news, everyone here thinks that every single problem can be solved with data, right? It's just a data problem. You have a health issue, it's a data problem. You need to figure out how to grow your business, it's a data problem. Your kids don't like you, it's a data problem, right? It's all a data problem. And you know what? Data is, I still have the wig in my ear, by the way. Customer success can use data. And obviously, that's what we do. It's kind of funny I'm saying that, right? We use data, we help people analyze stuff and predict things or whatever. But customer success, like Soylent Green, if you get that reference, is made of people. That's really dating. So customer success is actually about people, right? Data is like a flashlight, but the people, your teams, are the ones using the flashlight to find your customers, right? And to find the opportunities. And I think a lot of us have kind of got lulled into this idea that it's just about the data. And we hope to challenge you all and say, data is just a tool in getting this journey. So those are the three things I hope you can all do. And really, in summary of that, let go, now to quote Olaf, the snowman from the movie, by the way, to let go all of those old notions. Because actually, when I talk to you, I can see that you want to, but I don't think you all have completely let go. I actually don't feel like you have totally, right? I still think we want to go to the new world, but we're in the old world, right? And we're still in that transition. So hopefully Pulse helps you get there. So with that, welcome to the world's biggest customer success meetup in the history of mankind. It's either a meetup or maybe it's a revival, because I've seen the energy here, and it is just awesome. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to all of you. We appreciate, I think you know that at Gainsight, we put this on not as a company event, but actually as an industry event, to bring all of you together and to help solve these problems, because we think there's a massive opportunity here. And one of the things you probably know at Gainsight is one of our core values as a company is childlike joy. And so hopefully throughout the event, you've seen us, you've seen the churn bot walking around, terrorizing people and customers and other people. You've seen superheroes dressed up. I don't actually know if we paid for those people or they just came into the conference. I don't know. Okay, great. Seen superheroes. We've seen that giant fish. I actually think that was the fish that I just threw out there being eaten at dinner. That's definitely not, that has some genetically modified material in there. That's not a real fish. We've seen knives get brought out at dinner. I don't really know why, but a knife was brought out last night. So stuff got real. And And what we see, I think, is just a lot of joy here. And I'm just, as I said, one of our company values is childlike joy. So honored to have such a great community that we can work with. I also see a lot of logs that we think we can turn into a massive blaze. Because customer success is one of those areas you can kind of feel it, right? Just look at the attendance and the people. It feels like it's just going to kind of go on fire. It already is, right? It's just amazing. A year ago, we were planning the first Pulse conference, and Anthony's my head of marketing here, by the way, amazing job. And we were talking about trying to get 50 people to talk about customer success. And here we have 900 people. It's just unbelievable how this thing's taken off. And really, really excited to be part of this community. Hopefully all of you are as well. Welcome to the more than 100 speakers, so I think all of you are actually speaking, just FYI, that are actually here to talk about what they've learned along this journey. And one of the things we tried to do was these aren't, like some of these are Gainsight customers, some of them are potential customers, some of them are just people that we think are smart and that have just figured out things like compensation and surveys and health scores and working with their CEO. And so hopefully there's a lot for you to learn. Welcome to our sponsors. It's really awesome that this has turned into a community that's much bigger than Gainsight. Welcome to our platinum sponsors, Salesforce.com and Zuora, to Adobe EchoSign, who threw the party last night, and all the other great sponsors that are out there, and they actually help make all of this possible. Welcome even to our competitors, who actually, it's pretty amazing, random coincidence, but advertising for customer success technology went up a ton this week. So there's advertising all around, which is great. And we love the fact that this is a competitive market, lots of great technologies out there. Some of our competitors even threw dinners last night, which is awesome. So if we did go to the dinner from one of our competitors, hopefully you ordered the filet, though. So it was actually, I've heard it was really good. So awesome. And welcome to all of you who actually came from as far as Buenos Aires and as close as Yerba Buena Gardens. Do you like that, by the way? And seriously, I think somebody from South America is here. There you go. Awesome, welcome. That's awesome. So this is amazing how this community has just exploded, right? And there's obviously a lot more people that couldn't make it, but I just so honored to have all of you here. One of the things we want to introduce today as an addition to the Gainsight community is a new concept that we're going to call Gainsight Connect. And just put it in context, we're proud of the product we built at Gainsight, and you can go get hundreds of demos if you want outside, and we have lots of cool new analytics and user interface and all that kind of stuff. But we know that to solve customer success problems, it's going to be more than just Gainsight. And to solve this challenge is more than Gainsight. And the analogy I'll use is that in your teams today, a lot of you use lots of tools to work with your customers. You email them, you schedule meetings. We have folks from LinkedIn. Everyone uses LinkedIn, right, to look up customers, right? It's great. Inside View is here somewhere, using Inside View. Lots of great tools. But for a lot of teams, it's kind of like home automation right now, where it's just a bunch of stuff, right? Like, it's like having your Apple TV and your Sonos and your Nest and all these different things that don't really work well together. How many of you feel like you have just tons of tools that don't really work well together that people are using, right? And that's a real challenge. And it's not going to be solved by Gainsight alone. So I'm excited to introduce Gainsight Connect, which is an ecosystem of technologies that we've pre-vetted for the customer success community. These are technologies that might have been born in the sales world or the marketing world, but we think they're very relevant for customer success professionals. And I've highlighted just a few here. We're going to have a lot of folks in this program. And so Gainsight Connect is going to do a few things. Number one, we're going to feature technologies that we think are relevant to solving problems in customer success. And then number two, we're actually going to make sure they work well together. And just to kind of show you what I mean, I'm actually going to bring up Mike Smalls, CEO of Hoopla, to talk about one really cool technology for customer success, and Pooja Ramani, our Director of Product Management. Mike? What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Pooja. Awesome. All right, so Mike, what's Hoopla all about? I have no idea what it is. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Nick. I'm really excited to be here to talk about the partnership. For those of you who don't know what Hoopla is, we are a complete employee motivation platform. And what we do is we allow our customers, we have over 300 customers worldwide, to take the data from their back-end systems like Salesforce, track key metrics and activities of those employees that are key to the company, and then challenge them through goals, contests, games, etc., and celebrate wins and achieving goals in real time, right? On big screen monitors that our customers hang all over the company in all their offices, like looks like ESPN running in their organization, but it's running their data. They can see it on websites, and they can see it on their mobile device as well. And what we've traditionally done is made this available to sales organizations, inside sales, field sales, and we're really excited to extend this now to the CSM world through our partnership with Gainsight. And so we're going to show you a little demo, but to set this up, one of the things that our customers really like about the Hoopla platform is they can customize this and personalize this. And so whenever an action occurs, let's say you close a renewal or a new deal, an animated video can be displayed on the screen. People's names can be highlighted, but they can do it in a way that's in a very personalized way. So let's take a look at the demo.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Wouldn't that be awesome every time you closed a renewal if you had that kind of celebration? We really believe that to drive the right kind of behaviors, something like Hoopla could really help CSM orgs. And with the Hoopla Gainsight integration, you can actually create leaderboards to drive the behavior you want in your organization. So, across your teams, you could have this sort of leaderboard on TV showing who's closing the most renewals. There's a lot of flexibility with the kind of data you could use from Gainsight. You can also report on things like, who was able to create the biggest increase in health scores. You can do things like who are the top alert closers. So in Gainsight, we have this notion of alerts, which are the system telling you that these are important actions to take care of, and you can actually track that in Hoopla as well. So we're super excited. We think this is a great integration, drive that positive behavior, and hey, a little competition never hurt anyone, right?
That's right. Thank you.
It's great.
All right,
thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah,
You stay out. Exactly. Great. Thank you. And I'm super excited about that because that's just an example of taking the work of customer success and tying it to revenue and growth. And many of you, actually, how many people use Hoopla? I think probably a decent number of people in the room, and your sales team use it. And the sales teams are recognized for sales, right? And why shouldn't you recognize the customer success team for helping to drive growth? So really excited about Hoopla. And equally excited to bring on Ray Smith, CEO of DataHug, to the stage. Nicely done. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Man. Not too bad.
So wait, Ray, what's DataHug? It sounds very warm and friendly. Tell me about it.
Warm and fuzzy.
Hug my data.
We like to hug your data.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick, for the opportunity, and great to speak here in front of an amazing audience, particularly around DataHug. I'll probably have to explain the accent at some point. Delighted to be here to talk about the partnership between Gainsight and DataHug, ultimately to deliver data-driven intelligence about your customer relationships and what that means for proactive alerts around whether you're trending, having good engagements with your customers and so on. So a bit of background about DataHug. We all know that relationships matter in business, and that's even more true with the people in the room today. So DataHug was very much created with the pain point because we didn't know who was connected to who, when we last spoke with a customer, what's the engagement, how it's trending, and so on. So that has application throughout the whole funnel, from prospecting, looking for warm intros, looking for stakeholders, navigation and sales, but even more relevant as we move down the funnel into customer success and renewals. So we're very excited to partner with Gainsight as part of this program. How DataHug works is it's effectively analyzing the communications going in and out of your business on a daily basis. So not the content, just the traffic, and being able to plug that in real time into your business, into your workflows, whether it's CRM, mobile, and so on, to give you the real pulse of communications of how you're engaging with your customers and getting signals and proactive alerts around what that means for your engagement. Okay, so I might hand over to Pooja now to maybe give you a bit of a demo to walk through the overview.
Yeah, so thanks so much, Ray. So as Ray mentioned, data can give us a lot of great information about the strength of your relationship, which we have directly plugged into Gainsight. So right here, Gainsight is telling me that, hey, Abbott might be at risk because you haven't had any contact with that customer in over 90 days. So I can actually drill down in Gainsight and look at what's going on with Abbott. I also see that the health score for relationship is really low, and it's only 40, and that's concerning as well because we'd really like this to be higher. And this is part of our scorecard in Gainsight that can be driven by a lot of things, and like product adoption, but we also think relationship is a really key measure when you're thinking of overall health. So as I'm trying to investigate what to do, I can also look at who has the strongest relationship in my organization with Abbott. So Sally McField is my strongest partner, so I should really leverage her as I'm thinking about how to get Abbott back on track. And I can also see that the last email that was received from Abbott was back in February. So that's really what's driving this alert from Gainsight. And further drill down into metrics that we can pull directly from DataHug, like the number of emails received over time, and just try to understand what's going on with this customer. So as I drill in, I can see that over the last few weeks, there's been a steady drop in the amount of communication that's happening. And this is great because it gives CSMs a way to be proactive and really get on top of this before it becomes a bigger issue. So we're super excited about this. This is if you're interested in playing with this more, definitely stop by the demo booth and check it out.
Awesome, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
Good to see you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Pooja. Really appreciate it. I'm actually really excited about both those. And that last one, how many of you have had a customer go dark before? No response? Does that ever happen to any of you? Just once or twice? So that's actually, it's a really kind of neat way to find that. I'm also excited because Ray has like a killer accent that I'm working on. I got a data hug. I got to work on that. Because honestly, everyone would just buy from me if I had that. So it'd be great. So I love the two partners featured there. And more importantly, just the fact that this is a community of technology. This isn't just about Gainsight. That's really important to us. So with that, let me try to close up my talk and kind of leave you with 3 things that I hope you do in the next few days, actually the next 8 hours or whatever. So number 1, actually I saw a lot of you yesterday and I said, how's it going? And everyone's like, that's awesome, so great, you're so great, I love you, you're amazing, or so it was in my head. But like they were like, it's a really great conference and learning a lot, but there's a lot here. There's just so much stuff. And so I think it can be overwhelming in a way, right? Because there's so much change going on. There's so much we have to do to change that old world model. The first thing I would love for you to do is just soak it in, go back to the office and change one thing. Just one thing, one model, one approach, one mentality. Start with one thing. If we all go back to our offices and live that old world that drove that CSM to insanity, there's no point of coming here, right? We're here to make a change and start with one thing and kind of soak it all in. Number 2, network and build relationships. You will not get a higher density of customer success excellence and awesomeness until Pulse 2015, right? I mean, everyone's here. It's amazing. And so build the relationships, and what I'd encourage you to do is actually build one-on-one relationships and like set up coffees and emails. And there's people in lots of different cities, so you can do local meetups. We're going to try to help facilitate that. And if you think about it, if you're a big company trying to figure out how customer success works in your big company, there's somebody else going through that same challenge right now. If you're an open source software company trying to figure out what this means for you, there's someone else here going through the exact same problem. So build those relationships. And third, as we say, Gainsight's all about childlike joy. So you are required to have fun. The rest of the day, you're going to see some crazy stuff, and you're going to think we're either really weird or really funny. And just tell me that we're really funny throughout this, and we'll all be good. And so there's going to be some really cool stuff that'll happen. And honestly, this thing's blowing up. So my sense is we may have outgrown the Intercontinental, and we have a future that's pretty bright ahead of us for this community. So with that, this is a community. I want you all to build relationships. So we're going to do one little group exercise. So I love these group exercises, right? Okay, very easy. Look to your left, and I want you to do a little fist bump to your customer success professional to your left. Little fist bump. Let me see it. Little fist bump. Fist bump. Come on. Hey, Anthony, do one with me. Come on. Yeah. You can blow it up if you want, by the way. The fist bump with a blow up is fine. Yeah. It's all good here at Pulse. No judgment. Okay. Now do the same thing to the neighbor to your right. and get to know, because they're jealous now. They didn't get to go. Go, fist bump. Do it. Awesome. All right, and give yourself a round of applause. Amazing customer success community.